Right, we continue on to task number 3 on database page 6. I still have my evidence file here. I minimize it to the bottom, and then let's start with task number 3. You are now going to prepare some reports based on assessment results. Dates are to be imported in the format of day, month, and year. Please note the date format there. It's DMY, date, month, and year. Step 17. Using a suitable database package, import the trainee.csv file. Use these field names and data types. Now look at those field names, and you can look at birth date. Like I always say, always look for date, because the date can always create the import error. And there you can see birth date, and also in the format it says DMY. So when you import this, you will change the date order to DMY to save yourself with trouble of having any import errors. Set the training number field as a primary key and save the data. Right, so let's go ahead. You're talking with database, so of course you're going to use Microsoft Access. I'll bring up the Microsoft Access. I'll do a blank database. Name it Practical 3. Save it to my desktop. Practical 3 on the desktop, and put it on my working area. Press OK. Create. Table 1 always shows up automatically. Close it down, and then import your data. External data, always and always text files, and then browse and look for the file, and your files is in the desktop, Practical 3 and training. Press open. Okay. In the database, the most important thing is your evidence and your report to be printed. If you cannot complete your report, you will let me know during the exam. We can just print a one page of your report. You can still get marks from all the data, the fields that are included, all the data type, all the things that even your name on your report should always give you marks. Alright, now this is the import window showing up. Go next, and then always click on the first row contains field name, click on next, and then this is where you do your data type. Go to advanced, and then change your date order to DMY, then press OK. Right now your date order is already changed. You can do all the other data type later on, but for date order must be imported to do here. Right? You're lucky that it's mentioned, but if it's not mentioned but you see it on the table, please go and have a look at the data and make sure you're doing the right date order. Right now you can do the other stuff, other data type later on. Just go to next. I'll choose my own primary key, and trainee number is your primary key, and then next, name of the table. I'll take off this nonsense number at the back, and then finish. Now I have my trainee table being imported, so I'll right click here, go design view, or just highlight the table and open the table, or you can have it to home. You can also have the design view there. You can right click, go to design view, whatever design view you can choose to use. Still right, go design view, and then make sure that the data type is according, and make sure this little key here that is shown as well. You can give a mark as well to make sure you're choosing the right field for your primary key. Field name is text, first name text, training number text, date and time, change of text. Alright, they're all good. Evidence 4, take a screenshot showing the primary key, field name and data type. Bring me my snip tools, click a new one, and I'll snip down trainee and paste it into my evidence number 4. Good. I'll do a little save on my evidence just to be sure that I do not lose anything later on. Minimize it down, minimize my snip, and then close my table. Page 7, import another table called result using this result files as a new table into your database using the field names and data types. Now have a little look. You have a test date there as well, and the date order as well. It shows on the format to be DMY, but also it has its own format. You can see that there is a date and starting time, but it has a format. Also another date and time in the duration. Also it has a format for HH:MM, and then the rest. Do not set any primary key, save the data, and then take a screenshot of your names and data type using the table. Right, let's go ahead and get the other table in. Go to external data, text file, browse to find your file. You're looking for result. There you go. Open it up and press OK. Again, that's a total of 5 marks for both tables. That's a good marks there. With all these easy ways. Remember always to look for date, and I'm glad they're trying to giving you the date order now. But before on the other exam they were not giving the date order. Right now, this first window show up. Always go to next. And always tick the box, and then this is where you change your date order. Go to advanced date order and change to DM1 and press OK. Like I said from before, all the other data types and formats can be done later on. Go click on next. No primary key, as it shows there. And go to next, and then I'll have those little numbers removed from my table name result, and finish. Now you are not done. You still need to go to design view and look at the data type. Now your test data there is date and time, but there's a format. So go down to the format. If you sometimes there's a drop-down arrow there, you can see the format and try to see if there's any of these formats is shown. Right, this is the closest to the format, which is really good, because 2 digits for date, the 3 M's there, 3 letters for the month, and the YY, that's 2 little digits for the year, and they're all separated by a dash. And there's an example, 12 May 2021. So I'll go ahead and choose this one because it's already available. And then test day is text, start time is date and time, but the format is in HH:MM. I don't think it will show up like that, or it could be the short time here, hours and minutes. But if the format is not shown, you can just type it in. Type it in exactly how it shows on the HH:MM. Right, and then see, it's automatically go to show time because it's not show time. And then subject is text version is number, student ID text, date and time again, HH colon and M. Mark achieved is number. Total marks is number. Checks and checks. Pass marks number as well. Right? Looks like everything is good. Now take a screenshot of this and put it in the evidence file. Come here, my snip tools, or to a new snip. Snip this up, and then go to my evidence. Have it at evidence number 5. Right, now I already have my evidence number 5. I'll put this down and close it. So I want to save the changes, of course. And I always recommend going to all tables here and change it to object types so we can put together the tables. That is the end of step 17. Step 18. Create one-to-many relationship between the training number in the training table. So take up your pen and highlight those two fields you're creating the relationship with, and also with the student ID in the results table. Now go to database tools, relationships, add those two tables, close this, make sure you extend it down so all the fields is displayed, then move them up to the middle there. Now training number in the training table, it's the training number in the training table, and the student ID in the result table. So click and hold the mouse, go all the way to student ID, make sure your mouse is pointing to student ID, release. This little window of the relationship shows up, and like I always say from before, try and enforce it, and if there's any problem like this, take off the enforcement, that's still alright, and then press create. Now evidence 6, placing the evidence document screenshot showing the type of relationship between the two tables. You can see the screenshot there with an S, meaning it could be two or more screenshots, one or more screenshots. So I'll first take a screenshot of this. So I'll do a new screenshot and I'll just screenshot this diagram here, put it on my evidence number 6. And also I'll go back to my relationship and edit the relationship. This little window that shows up from before, I need to take a snip this one as well, because this is where exactly that it shows the one-to-many, right? You don't have to circle it like this. So I'll do a new one, but there, and then take this to my chapter 6, paste it underneath this one. Now the examiner can see both of my relationships, right? Minimize this down, okay, and then if I try and close this, they will actually want to save the changes. Yes, of course, and I save the changes. Step number 19, enter the following details, the new record to the training table. Just go open up the training table. Each row here represents a record. So to add up a new record, you have to go all the way down to the end of the table. And then you can see this is the new record here. Or you can even press this button here for the new records, and then it will show you the new records. Now, all you have to do now is enter the records according to make sure that it's typed in nicely. According to the spelling, make sure the spelling is right. Right, once you're done with that, you can just close this table. The data is already been saved inside. Check for errors and save the data. The data, you just close this, does not ask you to save, meaning it's already inside, it's already saved. Right, step 20. Using the fields from the training table only, produce a tabular report. The records there, and you have to look always, this is the old step, look for the one with the fields that start off your report. Also look for page orientation and the title, because those are the one that comes on the wizards. So now you can see on the second bullet point, you can find the fields included, as well as the fourth is the orientation, which is portrait, and also the title, data work programs. So let's go ahead and start. I want you to go create a report using the report wizards. All fields from trainee, first name, last name, date of birth, birth date, trainee job, trainee provider, in that order, right? Double check the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's good. Go next. Make sure they're all in one box. Click on next. No sorting here now. Tabular orientation is portrait, is there. Go next. And then leave the style as it comes naturally, and then have your title type up here. And of course you can change the title later, but make sure you do not make any mistake on any typing mistake. You could lose a mark there. And then finish. That's the starting of your report. Right, every time you finish using the report wizards, you have to go into the layout view and do a little editing on your reports firsthand, just to make sure that the fields and all the naming or the labeling on the top is displayed, all the data on the bottom is displayed as well. Right, so if it shows up here, it looks like the design view. You're gonna have to close this down and then go to your layout view. Right, the computer is starting to get slower and slower. Right, that little message shows up and says can't create a report, but it's already creating the report. So I'll close this down. Let's just say yes. And the report name is digital program. Okay, I'll just have, because it will show the names here, but let me open it up. And there you go. All you need to do now is to right click, go to design view. You can right click here to a design view there, or you can just go up there to a design, layout view. And then on the layout view, this is where you increase the width of those fields, just to make sure that they fit nicely, and everything is displayed. Right, you can see the dotted line here on the left and the right. That's the page. Right, so it looks good. Now let's continue. Now back to the top of your bullet points, and make sure that you go down and make sure that you fulfill everything on the report. Now select the records where training provider include the text digital. Birth date is in 2003. So to do this, go to the home and to a filter, or go to advanced filter and sort. On the first record is the training provider. Includes the text digital, meaning anywhere on this text they have digital, so you have to put on a star digital, and then another star from the back, and then You can apply it to college just to see. So on our digital provider, training provider, you can see the word digital is there, word digital is there. So if it says on the question anywhere it contains the word digital, you can see everything here is containing the word digital, right? Back to our little filter tab. The second one is the birth date in 2003. Birth date, and then you can just type in 2003 here and apply or toggle your filter. Nothing shows up, so let's go back again to birth date. Birth date 2003. Alright, we can see that it doesn't work because 2000 per birth date is not only a year, it's a whole date, right? So birth date is in 2003, so meaning anything at least the year is in 2003, right? So meaning it's between the 1st of January 2003 to the 31st of December 2003. Every birth date's within that, right? So we will do a filter for that. So create greater than 1st of January 2003 and greater than or equal, right? So we can include the date. Now the date must have a number like this in the front, hashtag and hashtag from the back, right? And also less than or equal to 31st of December 2003. But remember, again, every date that you're going to put here will have a hashtag, right? Hashtag. So let me see if I can increase this out so we can actually see the complete one. Greater than or equal to 1st of January 2003 and less than the 31st. I'm sorry about this, but the date has to come in there in the front. So the 31st. Let's try to toggle if this is working. Yes, we can see all the birth date is on 2003, right? So if that is new to you, take note that remember, if you're using the text on any filter, you're going to use the quotation mark on the text. If you're using numbers, just leave the number itself. If you're using a date, then you have to put in the hashtags at the end of both. Right, and make sure you always toggle your filter. You can close your little window, filter tab there. You can bring it up if you go here. Now that you already have your little filter and now your data is getting smaller, continue on to show only the following fields. You already have done that. Sort the data into ascending order. This can be done in the layout view, or sorry, on the layout view, yes, or the design view. We're still in the layout view. Format on the top, you can see the sorting there. This little window will come up from the bottom and add a sort. The sorting is supposed to be ascending order of training provider. Ascending order is A on the top. That's very good if it's text, and there's only one sorting there. The next one has the page orientation, fits on the single page. I'm gonna close this sorting window. Fit on the single page is a page 1 of 1, or you can truly do this during a print preview, and you can see that it's only one page. That's pretty good. Close this print preview. And fits on the single page, includes this on the title. We already have done that in a larger font fully visible. Yes, it's done. And then here's your name and sender number, coordinate number on the bottom of your report. Do this in the design view. Right, this is the page footer. Just move this inwards so you can fit in your label here, and then type in your name, continue, center number and continue number, back to normal view or report view, and then scroll down. You can see that you make sure you always see your names there, and then print out number 2. You can print this out by just doing a little bit of print preview, and then you go ahead and print on the top left. But in school you must choose the correct printer in order for you to print, and I will help you with that. Alright, I'll close down. You want to save the changes, of course, and this is going to be my digital and work program reports. Now moving on to step 21, that looks more a complicated report, but let's look at the whole report before we start. Look at the details. Contains the new field called %_mark, which we'll deal with later. The records there, select the records, meaning that's the fielder. Next to it is the only following fields, so that's where we're going to start. Remember, at every start we're looking for the fields to include, and also the page orientation. The sorting will come later. Page orientation is there, so that's the second one. Is your page orientation is landscape, and the third one you're looking for your title. Includes only the weekend testing is a title displayed in larger font, fully visible to top. So those are the 3 things that comes with the widgets that you need to identify, and then everything will come later on. So let's start by creating our reports. Report widgets, and then choose those fields. First name that comes from the trainee, family name, subject, test date, start time, sorry, not test date, test day, start time, mark achieved, percentage mark, and result. I'll bring the result here. Percentage mark, that is the new field, and you can see that in that order you have to bring in the new field in between the mark achieved and the result. Right, so let's go on to next. Find something that all fit in one box. Click on next. No grouping, no sorting yet. Orientation is landscape. Next, leave the style there and have your title. Weekend testing, and then press finished. Alright, close this or go back to your report view, and then design or layout view. Make sure that this one fits nicely. This one is maybe too much for the first name, still too much. Birthday is there, this one, and training providers. We have one thing that is not shown here, is our marks achieved. Right? We have our family name, subject, our first name, subject, our test date, test day, I'm sorry, this is our report from before. I'll close this down. No, this is our report that was opening the new one. Yeah, this is the new one. All right. So sorry about that. I'm not sure that's gonna happen in school in your computers, but I'm sorry that it happens here. So go into a layout view and then make sure that the data fits well. If it's too much, decrease its size. Remember that your new filter later on will go between your result and your mark achieved, which I will do that later. Right, now let's after that you close this one. If you want to be saved, yes, name it weekend testing. Alright, you can have your weekend testing, open it up, and then oh, you can see that the part-time there is still not done. Go to this layout view, pull this up, make sure everything fits well, right, and look nice. Even if you print one page of this on the front, you're already having marks. Right, now let's back to our normal view, and then it looks good. Now let's go back all the way up and finish this report. Now first bullet point contains a new field called percentage mark, which is calculated one time. This field calculates the mark achieved divided by the total marks and displayed as percentage with a 0 decimal place, right? So let's do this in the design view in order for you to able to add something new. So go to text box, bring it down here. It's gonna be your new field, and then press and hold and click drag it. You can see the orange line there, but like I said from before, it's gonna be between the mark achieved and the result. See, if you check it in between there, you can see the orange line there in release. Now that the new fields come in between, and which is the one they required, click outside, click back onto the text box, and type in our new one is percentage underscore mark. Then on the bottom, which you will type in your equation using the equal sign. So the mark achieved, or type in the exact mark achieved, mark underscore achieved divided by, which is a forward slash total marks. Total, you can see that the total marks is not here. Is the total marks here? No, total marks not even here, but I'll try and type it according to what it shows. Total marks, and then that's it. Right? Now let me expand this so we can see the formula, so you can see the formula. Right? Now mark achieved with a square brackets, meaning this is a data I'm taking out from this field on the side, divided by the total marks. Again, it is already square brackets. Right? Now I'm gonna bring back the size. Right? Just make sure it fits well, and then save this. If you want to save it, yes, I want to save it, and double click on my weekend testing. Now you can see that this one's showing up, meaning it does not know where to get the total marks from. Alright, so I'll go ahead and press OK, and you can see the percentage mark. There's nothing showing up here because I'm sure it does not know where the total marks is coming from, because in the beginning we were not using the total marks. Now what we do is try and add the total marks, the data, into this, right? So if we go to design view, And then on the right corner here, you can see that these are the fields that has the data involved in your report. I want you to go to any of these fields and right click and then add a field to view or edit this record source. Let me pause it down there because this is acting up. Right, pay attention. So when we created this report, we're using only this field and not the total mark, right? So if you want the data to be used here, to be used on our reports, we're gonna go to any of these fields and right click on it and then edit the record source. When you edit the record source, you can see that these fields here are the one that we used before, and I want you to add on the total mark as well from the their tables there, and then separated by the dot, then you can see the field. As you scroll down, you can see the total mark here is from the result table, and then you get the total mark and there's the tick there. You close this. You'll ask if you want to get saved. And press yes. You can see that the total marks is being added here. Alright, now let's close this one, save it, let's open it up again, and then you can see that there is the percentage shown on the marks, but we're not done yet, right? Because we need to change this into as percentage and also with the 0 decimal place. Now you can do this in the layout view. You just highlight the data or the column. You can see up here that you have the formatting for percentage and also the 0 decimal point. You can increase or decrease this decimal points to have a 0 decimal points. And that's the end of the first bullet points. So that's what's new here. Adding on the new field, just the data, adding on the data to use in our field rather than adding the whole field there. It just bringing the total mark to be used. I have seen this in some of our reports before, but now I have noticed, and this is how you should add it into your table and reports. So let's continue back to normal view, and then select the records. This is your filter. As you go to advanced, into your advanced filter, test day to Saturday or Sunday. So give me the test day, and then on the criteria, like I said, if it's text, use the quotation mark Sunday, close quotation mark, or Sunday or Saturday, close quotation mark. Let's apply this just to see that your test day is always on Saturday or Sunday. Back to our filter, and mark achieved is 25 or more. Mark achieved criteria, make sure it's on the same line, 25 or more, greater than or equal to 25. Toggle your filter or apply it, and then look at your mark achieved is 25 and above. That gets your data a little bit smaller, which is a good sign. It's a good sign, right? Now that is done. Show all in the fields. We are done with that. Sorting, again with sorting, you can do this on the layout view, and then do the sorting. Add a sort. The sorting here is ascending order of test day. So test day ascending order A to Z, which is good. And also the second layer of the sorting is descending order of subject. Right? So add another sort, subject, and descending order, which is not A on the top, is set on the top. Right? And then I'll close this the sorting. Has a page orientation landscape with that fit on a single page wide, meaning the width should be only a single page. So we'll do this on the print preview. Right, it looks like it fits there, but let's go next. It's second page, but it fits on the single page wide. You can see that the page here, we are having some space to the left, so you can always pull it up a little bit to fit the side, but at least it fits on the just one. All right, not more than one pages, so that's enough. And then includes the title weekend testing right at the top there. Calculate the number of tests and display this as an integer below the subject column at the end of the report. Right? So you have the subject columns here. Go to the totals here on the top, and then you count the records or count the values. Count the records. Let's see that how many tests has been done. You do a little scroll down and you can see the number is there. And then has the label total tests completed. You can do this in your design view. Adding a label, this is going to be the count here. Now you're adding a label to the side of the count. And make sure the label is what is being given. And then that's it. And also display only the names and the name card and the number in the footer so that it appears the same position on every page. Make sure no other date is displayed on the footer. Alright. Now look at the footer, page footer here that we always put our name. You have the now here, which is the date and time. Here we have the page number. It says nothing else is in the footer, just the name. So I'll just delete this away using the delete key on my keyboard. Take it off. I'll bring my label here and have the page footer for myself. Type in Cepho T O 003 and the 1 2 3 4. Alright. Now back to my normal view, and scroll all the way down. You can see that's the only one on the footer. There's my label there to the left side of my numbers there. And that should be your print number 3. Evidence 7, it says there, take a screenshot showing the database formula used to calculate the number of tests. So you go back to your design view. You can see this is the one to calculate the number of tests. You bring up your little snip this off, and then paste it into evidence number 7. Evidence number 7 there, and paste your right. That is the end of your task number 3. I'll do a little save on my evidence. I'll put it down here. Close my report. Database.